You're watching The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit comicshoplocator.com to find a store near you.
There you go, Robbie!
I love it.
To throw that up there, and I'm a personal fan of Jimmy Johnson, and wanted you to feel the applause of the award and see that picture of the last time the Cowboys ever won the Super Bowl.
Right before the advent of HGTV.
But kudos to Jay. Actually, that was Jay's idea. I take all the credit for it, but I can't. That would be a lie. So
that would be a lie.
So thank you, Jay. Kudos to that. Hey, show everybody the award. I know you have it. You were flashing it on Friday's show.
Yeah.
If you don't think that this thing's going to be by my side every time I'm streaming, there it is. Look at it.
There we go. Oh, round of applause.
I'm surprised he's not wearing it around his neck like a con.
He hasn't figured out how to get the chain through the loose site. Okay, but he's working on it. He's working on it. He's watching YouTube videos right now to figure out
how cool is that though.
It lights up.
It changes colors.
Kind of like Alex Bookshelf.
All jokes aside, congratulations, man. That was well deserved and well earned. I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to see you recognized.
Yes, sir. So hello to Kenneth Bird, Easy Go Lucky, Preston, Marcus. What's up?
Marcus, there's other people too. Triple B is in here.
Hold on, I gotta scroll down.
Hold on, it takes me a second. There's other people in here too.
CJ Design, Tom Bishop. What's up? Ed Weird.
I don't know how Ed Weird finds the time in the day to be here, and he posts at least 60 times a day, 60 on Facebook, and it's just like an endless parade of "I wish it was Halloween," and I have so much respect for that staying on brand. It doesn't matter what it is. He has a Halloween meme for it, and up on Facebook it goes.
You know, sometimes your mouth just moves, and I realize I don't hear anything. A CJ Design, Marcus Y. How about them Robbies? All right, Ron, what's up? And Sleepy Reader, hey, what's going on? Thanks for joining us. CJ, yeah. All right, I'm way behind now. Stevie B. Who else? Did I miss anybody there? Weird. I got one of those off of eBay for $5.
Nice.
Yeah,
maybe I can get me another one.
Yeah, right.
I'll throw in $5 so they can put the other S on there. Only to be.
But congratulations to Robbie. What's that?
I was just going to say, John's right. They did leave the S off of Pop Culture Philosophers, but it's okay.
That's all right.
It does slightly bother me, but it's okay.
Hey, that's what Sharpies are for,
but that's cool though. I mean,
pencil that right in.
We messed around a little bit, but essentially this is what Robbie does for a living, and I'm kind of glad to see. I'm glad to see him and his whole sort of project.
Well, no, Robbie's got a new profession. He goes and he does a watch show for the Dallas Cowboys, and people pay him to drink. I'm still waiting to find out where I line up to sign up for this job. I don't know how that works, dude.
Yeah, I can't do that all the time, though. I don't do it for every game. I only do it for Sunday night games, which there have been 2 games.
When he's in a pinch, too. It's Christmas time. He needs a little extra money for gifts, so he may be drinking a little bit more.
It helps pad the Christmas fund.
So what do you do at Christmas dinner with your family? when they try to give you a beer or something, like, oh no, I'm off duty right now, I can't.
I'd be like, well, I asked them, how much are you going to pay me to drink that? Like, it's $50 for me to chug a beer. Like,
well, I'm pretty sure you're going to get smacked in the back of the head for that one, Robbie.
Yeah, probably.
So Robbie and I were just catching up on the games. Obviously, he's a huge Dallas Cowboy fan. I am a huge Philadelphia Eagles fan. We are in the same division, and it's getting down to where that Christmas Eve game is going to be relevant. It looks like. To everybody's great surprise, the Washington Commanders are actually knocking on the door. They have that 6th spot, don't they now? After the Giants loss,
they do. And what's crazy is that right now, if the season ended today, every team in the NFC East is in the playoffs. That's wild. That is wild.
That's crazy. That really is crazy. Especially given the records we're seeing. But as fun as it was to watch the Eagles beat up on the Giants, the only thing that would have made it more fun if it was the Cowboys. But with that being said, the game of the day has to be that San Francisco game. Purdy, that kid Purdy, I'm sitting there going, well, who the hell is that? And apparently he's a guy picked out of the draft. And he went and he took the GOAT apart. And John Spilios, I don't know if you're in the house yet, man. That couldn't have been a fun day for him, boy. I'm watching that game going, wow, who is this kid?
Yeah, it's rough. We all thought their season was over when Garoppolo went down, right? And for this kid to come out, who wasn't even born yet when Brady played in his first Super Bowl, right? To come in, he knows who he's going up against. And I have never seen Brady get beat that bad. Like, it was pathetic.
Well, I got to say this. So
he's like 48 years old. I mean,
Actually, he's 45. He'll be 46 next year if he continues. Actually, ironically enough, we have somebody new in our accounting department who happens to be a huge Niners fan.
Did somebody throw up money there for Robbie to drink? Is that what that is?
I don't know. No, that's for Nick for being so nice last night. Okay, I don't know what that means. Nick will see it'll come in and address it, I'm sure. I got to say this much though. Marcus, no doubt. But the kid threw some bullets there. He threw some bombs there. Okay, you got to give credit where credit is due. And he was the last pick in the draft. I mean, come on now. But that was, I was so the new guy in accounting. He's a huge Niners fan. And when Garoppolo went down, we talk football every Monday, obviously. And I was like, he asked me what I thought. And I'm like, look, you guys are screwed. Okay. I mean, I great defense, but you still got to put points on the board. And then when Baker Mayfield had his great, coming out debut party with the Rams, I'm giving my buddy crap. Like, wow, you guys should have picked up Mayfield on waivers. I mean, the Rams, they're pretty much out of it, but the Niners, they could go. Right. And then this kid Purdy comes out and does all that. Oh my God. That was fun to watch.
But like Marcus says, man, they probably have, I hate to say it because I'm really proud of my defense, but sometimes they don't necessarily show up when they should. But the Niners might have they might have the best defense out there, like for sure. The Niners,
no doubt. Look, I'm not saying the kid's like the next GOAT or anything like that, but certainly for the last pick in the draft, I've seen backups come in and do a lot worse. Okay.
I saw a stat today where it was like they were showing this on ESPN this morning, and it was like there have been like 6 or 7 rookies who have made their debut against Tom Brady. This is the first time one of them won.
Yeah. Brady's never lost against a rookie. But that was something else. That was
it's been a rough year for the Bucs and Brady though.
Look at Tyrod Taylor. He came in and his first play, he probably fumbled the ball. And he's not a rookie, so I got to give that kid credit, but that was a fun game to watch. I mean, I thought they were done after Garoppolo went down. Somebody said, Garoppolo only has a sprain. Yeah, but we didn't know that. I mean, at the time it looked like it was broken. He was going to be out for the season.
Yeah, they're saying now, like if they pushed it, like if they needed him to, he could be back in like late January, I guess, if they're having a decent playoff push. But if you're that far into the playoffs at that point, I don't think you want to mess with the formula. So I think he's done.
Yeah, I think he's done. I mean, look, he was a little lackluster the last couple of games before he went out. I mean, it was really the defense that held it together for So yeah, I agree with you. But hey, that's fun to watch. I love seeing stuff like that. Feel good story, Cinderella story. So Stevie B in the house. What's going on, buddy? All right. So you know what? Let's hit the best offers. I think we got 2 tonight, unless I missed one and we got to find it later. Which yeah,
there was another best offer.
There are 3. Never mind. All right. So first best offer book of the night, we got Batman Black and White #1, signed in silver by James Tynion IV. Suggested retail of $69.99. It is only #2 of 20 signed in silver.
Oh.
And it is a best offer book starting at $27 for Detective number 27. All right, so that is our.
See, they should have kept this and got rid of all those other books. You don't need all that color. It's Batman.
Always something nice to say about Batman. I know you love him. All right, then the second best offer of the book of the night is Siege #1, signed by Brian Michael Bendis. It is number 26 of only 50 signed. We have one available. Best offers starting at 20. All right. And finally is a mega pack. It's the Spider-Man mystery mega pack, but it's not such a mystery anymore. We made a hard left here. It includes Spider-Gwen #25, lenticular. Amazing Spider-Man #238, facsimile, CGC graded 9.8. And Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows #4, signed by Justin Ponsor in silver. And we have one available, suggested retail of $179.97, and this is going to be a best offer starting at $75. All
that's
right,
highway robbery.
What's that?
I said that's highway robbery.
Yeah, that is highway robbery.
So, all right. So those are all right. So, Lars Man, you got it, buddy.
Yeah, put the graphic down, Lars.
All right. So Lars Man's offering $75 to open us up. Thanks, Lars Man. You got it, buddy. All right. So heard some interesting news over the weekend, I guess. I'm sure everybody else has heard it. So looks like Gunn has squashed Wonder Woman 3.
And the Batman Beyond project.
Oh, I didn't hear about that one.
Yeah, they said there was a Batman Beyond project. Well, Michael Keaton's Batman project was going to be Batman Beyond, which people have been talking about for a long time, where he was perfect to play old Batman, and then we get someone to play Terry McGinnis, and apparently that's all been pushed to the side, and now you've got DC splitting into camps of, you got your Zack Snyder people, and then there's other people, and now there's like these James Gunn. It's not. I saw a thing that said it's a great time to be a DC Comics fan, and I said my first reaction when I saw that is it though? Is it really? The storytelling in the comics is in free fall and has been for a while. And the movies are this wide variety. You get something really cool like Suicide Squad, right? And then they're trying Batman like an 8th or 9th time. And if I was a DC, like a hardcore DC Comics fan, I'd be a little bit concerned. I know James Gunn is, like the golden boy or whatever. If I was a DC fan, I'd be a little bit concerned.
Well, I think what's interesting though, so Marcus, that's right. I appreciate the comparison to Purdy, except he's younger, got more hair, and he actually plays in the NFL. But however, I do feel like I'm calling that audible. He was great last night, dude. That was so much fun to watch. Now, and I like the GOAT, but that was just too much fun to watch. But referring to what you're saying, I think that, all right, so obviously I was, and Robbie can confirm this, I was very happy and a great supporter of whatever James Gunn's going to do. And now we're here again with this chaos that is the DC universe. And I got to be honest, if Gunn can't get it done, then we know what the problem has been all this time. Okay. It's the studio. It's the studio. Okay. And Robbie likes to make fun, but my tirades against Zaslav, okay, become true. Even though he wasn't there prior, it was clear that was a problem.
There's a comment from the studio about wanting to preserve a relationship with Dwayne Johnson. I get it. He's a massive movie star. I read somewhere that in the last 10 years, this guy has made, like a $1 zillion for studios. So of course, the Black Adam film underperformed. but there's still, and he's sort of Dwayne Johnson is set on Henry Cavill being Superman. There's a lot going on there. I mean, I don't see James Gunn and Dwayne Johnson working together. I don't see that.
Well, Rex, we had this conversation a couple weeks ago, right? When we were talking on our Friday show about what is James Gunn and Peter Safran going to do. And we were talking about how, like, one of the problems that has plagued DC films has been that they've had some successes, some big successes and some moderate ones in the midst of everything else. So they don't want to cut their ties with Jason Momoa's Aquaman or Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, right? They want Henry Cavill. They got The Rock. The Rock's been trying to make this Black Adam movie for like 15 years almost. Yeah, it's been forever, right? And so you got him. And then the other thing is these are all rumors. Okay. So it's from what I can piece together from what I've heard, and this is all, of course, just rumors and hearsay, is that there are people within DC that are in line with wanting to restore the Snyderverse. And that's kind of what they've been building into, right? Slowly here and there, but stop and start. And James Gunn doesn't want to do that. Now, we talked about this and we were like, they have these moderate successes or these big successes, and they don't want to like lose that, but then they want to do something else. He's straight up like, maybe his idea is, let's start over. And it doesn't mean that Henry Cavill can't be Superman or Gal Gadot can't be Wonder Woman. It just means let's start fresh. And apparently they invited Patty Jenkins to repitch her movie because they were just like, the way you're doing it now isn't going to work for us. And she also told the executives that they didn't understand character arcs, and that's why they didn't understand 84, Batman or Wonder Woman 1984. Yeah. I just think that was a terrible movie. So it's all hearsay. It's all rumors. It seems like these rumors are being spread by people trying to taint James Gunn before he even starts, because Zaslav and Gunn and Safran haven't even had that meeting yet. So there's still a lot in the air, but it seems like people are almost kind of like trying to sabotage Gunn before he starts, because
I bet there are some people that are absolutely trying to do that, dude. I mean, you're a little bit nicer about it than I am. I think there's absolutely a sort of, let's sandbag this guy. Let's maybe make this more of trouble than it's worth, and he moves on. Well, yeah. I've seen conflicting things. Somebody, I haven't been much on Twitter lately. I'm sort of migrating off that platform, but somebody said that Patty Jenkins posted something like, it's been fun, it's been real, but I'm done. Something to that effect. I mean, I understand they did not like her movie. They did not like the Wonder Woman 3 pitch. I think everybody's kind of agreeing with that the studio has even said, that wasn't going to work or whatever. I don't know if some of these other filmmakers will sort of, I saw this term and I thought it was really good. Being Kevin Feige is kind of a sort of a difficult thing to do, right? Because you have the Russo brothers and you have all these other creative people that you sort of pull together and you create the Marvel and you create the MCU, right? They don't know if Gunn has that same type of personality to deal with Patty Jenkins, who's received a lot of critical acclaim for her stuff. Dwayne Johnson, who the rumor is that when he is part of a project, he's in charge. I don't care what the credits say. If he doesn't want to do something, he doesn't do it.
Yeah. Well, apparently, what Patty Jenkins apparently has like basically burned the bridge with DC, right? Yeah. And if you look at her history, she's got a history of leaving projects because she doesn't want to work. Now, I understand wanting to have your artistic expression and stuff.
She takes her ball and goes home. You're absolutely right.
And I get that. Like, you're a filmmaker, you're an artist, but man, we're talking about Wonder Woman movies, okay? We're not talking about like your project. Yeah, like, as Scorsese would say, we're not talking about cinema, but we're talking about popcorn superhero movies. And I don't think it's necessarily a good thing to have movies by committee. But that just seems to be like, you got to play a little bit. That's how we get really good things, is when
I think that's kind of.
Right? But we've seen this history before, right? Because she was going to do Thor: Dark World, she left that due to creative differences. She was going to do that Star Wars Rogue Squadron thing.
I almost forgot about that. Then that. Yeah.
Well,
it'll be interesting to see. I think. I mean, I'm certainly rooting for. I don't have a side here, right? Until your buddy Nick starts making movies, I don't really have a side here. But I would like to see some successful DC films move forward. I don't want to see the 9th version of Batman, but that's me. I think this, the Joker thing that they're doing, I understand people love it. It's a great movie. I'm not interested in that. I would like to see someone pick a direction, and if it's James Gunn, that's great. I mean, that guy's nothing but success, and just move forward.
Well, okay. So here's the point.
I'm ready for Blue Beetle as well.
So what John just said, I think, and what I've said in the past, and when we had that segment that Friday on your show, talking about what do we expect from James Gunn, I think now is the critical time. So if we want to look back, let's forget, the Josh Whedon, the Zack Snyder, all that stuff. Okay. The WB, all that stuff, all these disparate parts all over, the DC universe. And Zaslav comes in and says, we want to do it like the MCU. We want our own Kevin Feige. Okay. So kudos to him. All right, I've been very critical of him, but kudos to him for recognizing the problem. Okay, you have all these different voices, and then you guys at corporate keep changing gears. Like, I mean, come on, guys. You came out with 2 versions of Justice League. You made 2 different Suicide Squads. Okay, you want to talk about looking like you're indecisive? It's like, oh, let's redo the same movie, but with a different cast and a different director.
There's no reason to have 2 Suicide Squad
at some point.
That was a waste of resources.
Well, 2 versions of Justice League. It's so you're trying to follow and listen. I like the Zack Snyder versions of it, and I kind of like his universe, but again, you guys at corporate are indecisive. Okay, you're willy-nilly. You're like a bunch of teenagers. You're like, well, yeah, let's go this way. With Schneider, we don't want to do it his way.
Especially when the fans are always under
Schneider's way. Right?
Especially when your company is always under threat of being consumed by another media company, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah. So then, firm ground.
Then you say, okay, we were wrong. We're going to go back with the Schneider version. Okay, all right, and then the debacle with Suicide Squad. Okay, and then you had the merger and all that, and then you come out and then you say, okay, James Gunn and his buddy are going to be co-CEOs, and they are going to become our Kevin Feige. And then Zaslav goes out and says, we're not going to have 1 million Batmans. Okay. And then Gunn finally starts making some moves. Now, personally, I love the Wonder Woman movies. I even liked 84. I love Gal Gadot in the role.
I liked 84. I didn't think it was a good movie. I like a lot of movies that are not good movies. Robbie and I talked about this one night. We were texting back and forth about horror movies. There's good horror and there's bad horror that you can still enjoy. I think this was
I don't have that line. Your line is too complicated. I don't have that line. If I like the movie, it's a good movie. If everybody else in the world says it's a bad movie, they're clearly wrong. Okay, so to me, it's very straightforward. All right, but okay, so then you made that. And you know how I felt about that. That was not something for him to say. Let Gunn take the role and make the decisions if that's what you're doing. So now I'm not thrilled with it. I'm not thrilled with the whole Aquaman thing. They're going to turn him into Lobo. I see the logic there. I see Lobo being very successful under Gunn because that's kind of his thing.
Okay? I was going to say Lobo and Jason Momoa and Gunn, that might be.
But my problem is that I like the Momoa Aquaman. And I hate to see that disappear. But I'm of that feeling now that, look, your house has been a mess for years. You finally made a decisive move in bringing Gunn in. Now, some of these initial things, maybe they're rumors, maybe they're legit, I don't know. But some of the things he's doing, I'm not a huge fan of, like the Wonder Woman, like the Momoa Aquaman. But I'm at least so sick of this nonsense at DC. I'm like, let him run with it. Okay. All right. Aquaman, no more Momoa.
Well, it's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, you either start with a clean slate or you try to just continue on with all the mess that's going on and try to make sense of it. And I think that they need a clean slate. And I think that doesn't mean that they can't use some of the same actors. Like Patty Jenkins did tweet, it's done. See you later. Gal Gadot said, excited for the next chapter of Wonder Woman. Yeah, so I think she's still, you get what I'm saying? Like, now,
I agree with Robbie. I think DC needs to tear it down to the studs and then start again. And I understand you got like Harley Quinn movies over here, Joker movies over there. Everything is sort of spinning out of control. People are doing their own things. Somebody mentioned Joker making $1 billion. I don't care if Joker makes $1 zillion. Either he's going to be part of the DC universe or he's going to be some kind of weird incel poster boy character in these movies over here, and people can just do whatever they want to do. But I don't think you can have it both ways. I did agree with the one thing. There can't be a million different Batman. Pick a guy to be Batman and just go with it. And there's, like, as Robbie just said, Gal Gadot, everybody likes her as Wonder Woman. The Jason Momoa thing is going to be hard. The Jason Momoa thing, if they make him Lobo, it's going to be analogous to when Chris Evans was the Human Torch and then he came back as Captain America. That worked out pretty well.
Yeah, that did work out really well.
Granted, the studios were a little different, but essentially he was
and that was a different age. The expectations were different. Okay, but here's the thing: I'm not even looking at it that way. You guys are talking about what would be the best move. I don't even care. All right, I'll be honest with you.
You don't like DC Comics.
No. It's not that. What has happened at a corporate level. So this is the real test. This is Gunn's vision. Agree, disagree. I'm sure there are going to be a lot of different opinions about it. But is corporate going to step back and say, okay, let's just see where it goes? Okay, because the problem has been historically that they don't do that. And then you've got different avenues of executives that get whispered in 1 year, and that's how you end up with a Joker movie that has nothing to do with the DC
I'm going to say, I don't think they're
a Batman that drives a muscle car now, which I actually enjoyed the movie, by the way.
They're moving. Okay. They're moving forward with Joker 2.
And then you got Ben Affleck coming back and forth. Is he Batman? Is he not Batman? Is he Batman? Is he not Batman? Does he want to be Batman? Who the hell knows?
He's coming back as Daredevil.
So whatever Gunn's vision, I'm willing to wait it out and see. Okay, but corporate's got to get out of the way. And if corporate starts to kind of try to U-turn and curve whatever, then you got problems. Then Gunn's got to quit, because if you don't give Gunn the authority to be Kevin Feige, nothing's going to change.
I think to a certain extent that's true. And then they need a movie to start this thing off. If they do, they need an Iron Man movie.
Yeah,
I mean they do.
Agree. No, you're right.
That being the case, what do they do? Do they start with Superman because he's sort of, the first DC character, so to speak? Do they start with Superman and Batman and build from there? They've done that multiple times.
But that's not Iron Man. Because Iron Man is not equivalent to Superman in the DC universe, I don't think. Do you?
Well, he's an Iron Man type nowadays. They built him there. I think Superman's a good place to start. James Gunn said it will be Superman focused. And I think we still are ready. Let's be honest, as much as I love some of these properties, we haven't had a Superman movie hit like that first one since the first one. Superman's got to be a movie that hits like The Matrix.
I got to be honest with you. We got to take a break, and we'll pick this up when we come back. But here's the thing. I don't agree with that, because here's the thing. Superman would be the worst possible start. Here's why. Because inevitably there have been so many versions now, you will be inevitably compared to those previous versions. Iron Man didn't have that problem. It had nothing to compare it with. Nobody's ever tried to make an Iron Man movie prior to that.
Well, how do you start the birth of the DC universe
that's
without
a question.
The rocket landing in Kansas?
That's a question we'll have to answer when we get back from the break. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Do you remember what it was like when you were a little kid and you got a letter in the mail? Now imagine that letter was filled with information about your favorite shows, pop culture questions, links to things you're going to want to see later, and even sneak peeks at upcoming programming here on The Experience. That's what the EXP mailing list is. Every week, we send you sneak peeks, information, and all of the relevant links for all of the shows you want to see. Sign up now on our website or scan the QR code that's on your screen right now.
You just finished the last episode of your favorite new show, and you just have to talk about it. But all your friends are ghosting you because of that incident last week at the buffet. Oh, you know the one. What you did to that chowder. Ugh. Keeps me up at night. So what do? Join writer Dan Wickline as he breaks down all your favorite pop culture media. Whether it's a review of the latest nerdy TV show or a dive back into the history of your favorite comic characters, Dan's ready to discuss all the hottest topics live. Join the conversation as Dan live streams Tuesday through Thursday at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. The Dan Wickline Show on The Experience, comic culture and sales.
Did you know that every Experience show, including some exclusive content, streams on Twitch? Check it out, twitch.tv/the_EXP. Or just scan that QR code.
Hey, we're back. I don't know where John is. He's wandering around. All right, so let's get to a couple books, and I want to revisit this because this is an interesting topic. All right, so what do we got here? Oh, all right, let's do this one. Dark Knight 3, The Master Race #1, Dynamic Forces exclusive cover, signed by Jay Lee. We have one available for $27.
Absolutely love this cover. Big fan of Jay Lee. Love this homage to the original Frank Miller cover. I think this is a really fantastic deal. Somebody needs to dive in on this one.
Please tell me you're selling this for at least $100. Stop giving the stuff away. This is why we don't get any pizza, because there's no profit, because you're giving stuff away for like $10.
We don't have any pizza because you don't bring it. That's why I want my pizza. All right, and let's throw a Dynamite book out there.
Beautiful cover, man. Wow.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Thank you, Jay. I'm sorry. That's right. Lars, man, you want to do the mystery pack? Let's do the mystery pack, brother. All right. So the mystery pack, this is a true mystery pack. So it includes one remark, one signed book, one variant cover, a suggested retail of $149.97, and we have the mystery pack for $50. All right. Totally forgot. Thank you, Jay, for reminding me. I totally forgot. I promised Lars, man. All right, so the mystery pack is out there. Taki616, what's up, man? Station. All right. Lars Man's claiming it. All right.
I'm sorry, you want to resume with being wrong about the DC stuff?
No.
Do we get to see what's in the mystery pack now? There it is.
Yes, there we go. So it is Iron Man number 500, signed by Matt Fraction. Captain America number 1, signed with cover sketch by Free Isabello. And then Avengers 2-4 now Midtown exclusive variant cover.
There's a lot of Kirby energy in that.
I kind of
CCA, man.
I wanted to. If it wasn't a mystery pack, I kind of would have called it the Avengers pack.
Yeah.
But good. Congratulations, Lars, man. It's yours, buddy.
And Fraction sort of. I almost guess you'd call him a creator emeritus these days in terms of comics.
He's in Hollywood.
Yeah,
he's a Hollywood dude, writing screenplays and stuff. So he's tough to get to. All right. So Preston's claimant detective. You got it, Preston. I got you, buddy.
Good pickup.
That was nice.
All right. So we were talking. Yeah, I believe it's got to be a character that is not mainstream. Needs to be in Justice League, but can't be a mainstream character.
I got you.
All right.
I figured it out.
Superman can't be in it.
During the break,
Superman movie.
During the break, I figured it out. I was like, what property can DC do? Because they've Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Batman, Superman, even Flash.
Keep in mind, we're going to get the Flash too. They're insisting on releasing that car crash of a Flash movie. That's going to be out there.
Just a car.
I think we're far enough removed from the fiasco that was Green Lantern that if you did a good Green Lantern movie, that could be your way in to a new
maybe. Yeah, I thought about that as well, but my only concern obviously was the horrible Green Lantern film that came out.
You know what? You would have to do it this way. It would have to almost be like Detective Chimp, man. I would love to see something with Detective Chimp.
Hey, thanks for joining us, Jay.
It would have to be like this. The movie would have to start.
I like that one, Marcus.
The movie
they canned the Wonder Twins movie. They were going to do one, and they canned it.
With the Guardians on Oa. And you have a full view, like a full universal view. And what concerns them is all these superhumans popping up on Earth. You know what I mean? You have to have it. If you don't want to start at the beginning with Superman, You don't want a micro view. You want a macro view. What's the biggest macro view in the DC universe? It's exactly what Robbie said. It's the Green Lantern Corps and the Guardians of the Universe. And
I would agree, except for the horrible movie that was made, prior, because the one thing
you want a Booster Gold movie to kick off the new DC?
I don't know. What I'm doing, I get what you're saying, Robbie, but what I'm doing is I'm comparing it to Iron Man, right? And yeah, CJ, it's one of those instances where John's like saying stuff and I kind of tune out. Happens more frequently. I don't know why.
I think Green Lantern is an Iron Man level Justice League member, right?
I agree with you. I agree. But
I don't see anybody else that would even be recognizable that they haven't been using, because we're not getting a Metamorpho movie. We're not getting Fire and Ice.
Listen, I agree with you, but the magic to Iron Man was that, there we go, Green Arrow. That might not be a bad start there.
Well, by your argument of that movie back in the day, what about the TV show? Well, too many people are familiar with the TV show, so now we can't. You know what I'm saying? It's the same argument.
Different comparison.
Whatever.
No, come on. I mean, you can't really compare that. A TV show.
I think we're far enough removed from that Green Lantern movie. I think a lot of kids today never even see it.
You might be right. I'm not saying you're not right, but I'm saying is that it then you don't get a true apples to apples, because the thing about Iron Man was, we didn't know what it was going to be about. What we do know is Robert Downey Jr. pulled it off. Okay, he was great in it, which helped it. Okay, it appealed to a general wide audience.
What do you mean we didn't know what it was going to be about? I knew what it was going to be about. I'm familiar with
everybody knew what that was going to be about.
No. Wait a minute. Time out, guys. Okay, I'm not talking about comic book fans and
okay,
readers.
so let's find a DC character who's a major figure in the Justice League who nobody really knows about in the general public, that's never had a movie or a TV show or a project.
I never said TV show. You said that.
Okay, so then we're stuck with Green Arrow. So we got to launch the DC universe with Green Arrow, is what you're saying.
Why is that a problem?
I don't know.
No one is launching universe with wannabe Hawkeye. That's not
you guys. You guys can debate that. You guys can debate. Yeah, I was thinking about that. KS and Comics Hawkman.
Hawkman would not be a bad idea, because if they do like the alien version of Hawkman, because what you're saying is you want a macro view of the DC universe.
What I'm saying is that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that it could be anybody. I don't know. And we can debate it all night long. What I'm saying is that it cannot be Superman, because you have too much baggage you're carrying around. Now, can Superman be incorporated in the story? It can be, but you can't make it about Superman again.
Well, and it can't be Hawkman.
Krypton blows up.
On Rex's baby. It can't be Hawkman on Rex's criteria, because the Hawkman was just in the Black Adam movie. So we got to keep going deeper. How about Blue Devil?
No, that's not. You see, you guys are trying to say I'm saying this or I'm saying
you said the Green Lantern movie was too close to recent memory.
I said that it's a problem. I believe it can create a problem. Are you far enough removed? I don't know. You think that we are. I don't disagree with that. I'm not agreeing with it. I'm not disagreeing with it. I'm posing the question. Is that's not the same as Iron Man? Iron Man didn't have that baggage that it was carrying.
How about this one? How about Commandy? And in Commandy, we get the idea of this world that's like, post-apocalyptic. And then that teases like the threat, like maybe Commandy's the eventual, I don't know. I think
now you guys are just being smart, Alex. Okay. So I'm not saying
if you want to tell the story in reverse, you would start with Commandy.
That's what I'm saying.
If you want to start by telling the story in reverse.
We all know there were far more people than knew who Iron Man was in Commandy. Okay.
Well,
now the general public has to be familiar with them, Rex. Come on, man. You keep changing.
Do you think the MCU became the MCU just based on comic book fans? Ain't no way, bro. You know it.
No, I'm not saying that, but you're saying it needs to be simple.
No. Listen. I'm saying that to finally be successful, they need to position themselves in a certain way. Okay, and their challenges, and I recognize the challenge. Is you have to appease the comic book fans, and you have to appease a general audience, because you're not going to make those billions of dollars, okay, on a universe just depending on comic book fans. So you have to bridge that, and you have to find a character who is not necessarily Superman or Batman, because you've beaten that to death, you've screwed that up so bad you can't go back to that, right? Green Lantern is a good choice, but you screwed that up as well. Okay, so can you get away with it? The Flash would have been a great launching point, I think, But obviously, for a variety of different reasons, Ezra Miller being the first 5 of them, okay, plus, come on.
Wow, we're not going that far back, man. Anthro Shining Knight.
I was just about to say, if Rex is in charge of the DC film division, y'all, just so you know, he's going to try to launch it with either Warlord or Amethyst. That's what's going to happen.
Okay, excuse me. The one thing we do know is I can't do a worse job than they've already done. Okay, come on. All right, come on.
This is true, man.
I sure as hell wouldn't have remade a remade Suicide Squad, and I would not have released Justice League for the 4th time in black and white.
Yeah, but that Suicide Squad redo gave you your beloved Peacemaker show, brother.
It did.
They start with Legion of Superheroes looking back in time at the creation of the DC universe.
That's not such a god awful idea.
What I was saying with the Commandy thing is that you could show like the ruins of the Hall of Justice or the ruins of the GLA Watchtower.
Yeah,
you could show this stuff and lead into like
I would say that would be a great opening scene.
There's a tremendous
that's not enough for a movie.
Animated short DC did. That's very much touching on what Robbie and other people are talking about. It's even animated in the Kirby style, and I think that there's actually, I don't know if they would have I don't even know if I want to say courage. I don't know if they'd have the faith in the product to start with, a kid in a raft, paddling past the Statue of Liberty, which is sort of, I guess,
they could always remake
seminal image for Commandy.
They could always remake the Masters of the Universe movie from the 80s and actually call it New Gods this time, because that's what that movie was. So
that wouldn't have been bad. That wouldn't have been bad at all.
What I believe is that a Green Lantern might be the answer. I don't know. But what I do know is if you go and try to remake Superman again, you're going to inevitably be compared to Christopher Reeves. Okay. And then, of course, all the what was that guy's name? The guy in the middle who actually became the Atom.
Brandon Routh.
Okay, and then of course,
and he played Superman again in Legends of Tomorrow.
Right. So in the end, you're inevitably that's going to be a tough one because everybody's going to make that comparison, so you don't actually get your point across.
I get that, but I think that there's a market right now and an audience salivating, wanting the great standalone Henry Cavill Superman movie. And that could be it because people would go see
there should be a Man of Steel too, something that people can really.
Well, then you have another problem. Okay, in my opinion, do you allow
Aztec?
Well, do you allow Gunn to do what Gunn was hired to do? Do you let him revamp the universe?
I would say
obviously that's a decision that was made. We're not going back to Snyder.
I think that decision's been made. You don't bring James Gunn in if you just expect him to be one of 18 people contributing.
Well,
to the
then
process.
if you make this other Man of Steel too, then obviously Gunn is not in support of that.
Well, that's why we don't make a Man. Well, we don't know that because these are all rumors, and James Gunn himself has been kind of coming out against a lot of these rumors.
Gunn is in support of the Flash movie that's coming out next year.
I have not heard any rumors, yay or nay.
I'm kind of curious about that because that movie, parts of that have been edited out, and there was the whole thing where they were supposed to be, I guess, Michael Keaton and Batman Beyond. It was here and there, and they filmed it. And Michael Keaton confirmed that he's filmed different scenes.
I have not heard rumors as it pertains to
I guarantee you the Flash movie ends with a new beginning, like a crisis type new beginning. Like Flash does something to refix the timeline or break it. He breaks it, then he fixes it, and that's what I think.
And he gonna die.
Hopefully, at the end when he breaks it and fixes it, it's Grant Gustin as the Flash, right?
Well, whatever. This version of the Flash will die.
I like Marcus's idea. Let's kick it off with Steel 2. Let's bring Shaq back.
Oh my
Shaq
God!
Is the man. Shaq is the man.
Squeeze into like a metal costume, or that would be the best.
All right. So I said some Dynamite books, right? So let's get to a couple of. Oh, we got some Bargain.
We gotta wrap it up. Good night, everybody. It's 8:00.
Oh, cool. I'm tired. All right, here we go. Here's first up. We got Sirens Gate #2, FOC Virgin incentive cover 1-in-10 ratio by Sora Sung and Sanju Nevagun. I'm gonna say. That's as close as I can get. Suggested retail of $50, and we have this one available tonight for $15.
I gotta tell you, Sirens Gate is like a real feast for the eyes, man. I mean, the story is a little bit, developing, but the art in this is just, it's like a fully painted book. I mean, fully painted books are few and far between at this level. So I'm very much enjoying this. I'm looking forward to seeing like where this goes and how this ends.
All right, so let's do a couple more books. So then we have Vampirella Fairy Tales one shot.
Fairy Tales.
All right, whatever.
They're fairy tales.
Tales one shot FOC Virgin incentive cover 1-in-7 ratio by Jonathan Lau. Suggested retail of $50, and we have the one available for $10. All right.
I think this was Tom Snigelski and Janine Atchison who did the fairy tales. I think.
All right. Okay. So then, and let's throw this out here. Dynamite 10-pack reader set. Suggested retail of $40, so $3.99 cover price or higher. And as always, a thank you to our viewers. We have it for $5. Furry Tales. But I mean, look, you know what? Green Lantern could work if they do it right. Okay, it could be the revamp.
I think that's a good one because one of the things that maybe they've gotten lucky with is they haven't done Green Lantern during this cycle, and so I think it's enough out of the public consciousness that if you did it and made it look right, I think it could work.
I think it could work. I think Gunn's version of it would be very interesting.
I think you need a slightly older, more serious Hal Jordan. I think a guy like John Hamm has to be Hal Jordan,
or don't do the origin, don't do the origin. He's already Green Lantern.
Just they can allude to his origin, but he's already Green Lantern. Start the movie on Oa, where Green Lantern is returning to the Guardians to report on all these superpowered characters on Earth.
I think that it would work if I see what John's saying, a serious Green Lantern, but with humor around him, and James Gunn obviously is very good at that. So I think that might work.
There's plenty of humor to get from his partners on Oa, right? All the different aliens, Kilowog and stuff like that, right? Yeah. Exactly. And Ryan Reynolds played him. That's not Hal. Hal is like no fear, fighter pilot. He's got a comic side to him. Yeah, he's got a comic side to him, but he ain't Wally West.
Look at Jay's question. That's an interesting one.
They start with Hal, or do they go with John Stewart off the bat? I mean, it depends. You could do John Stewart as well. I mean, Hal Jordan is the first Earth Green Lantern, but if they decide, hey, look, you know what? Ryan Reynolds is connected to Hal Jordan. Let's just push all that away, and let's start with John Stewart. I think that works too. You get the right actor to be John Stewart. I think that totally works.
You could also have John Stewart have to be recruited because Hal Jordan's missing. And so part of the thing is finding him. You could also have it be kind of like a buddy cop type thing where Hal Jordan is recruiting a new recruit. And then we have our perspective, for new people that are not familiar. And you introduce the world and the lore and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. Well,
let's see if corporate can stay out of it this time. I mean, clearly that's been an ongoing problem.
I know what we're talking about here. Corporate isn't staying out of it. They're moving forward with movies that have no place in a new DC universe. They're moving forward with The Flash, and that's not going to work. And they're moving forward with the Joker, and that fits into nothing. It's literally they just licensed out the Joker and let Joaquin Phoenix and these other people run around, tell their story. It's not really a comic book movie. It would almost be like if somebody licensed out Batman. And it was he was like a keeper of bats. The two things, the Joker character in the comics and the movie, which obviously I've seen multiple times, there is no connection there.
What movie haven't you seen multiple times?
Well, that's my point. I'm telling you that movie.
Even Morbius you saw multiple times.
I not anymore. But somebody actually said to me, "Hey, do you know it's on Netflix?" I don't care. I don't care what it's on. Leave me out.
One thing about that Joker movie, though, and I've never heard anybody come to my shop or talk to me on my shows that was confused and not understanding that was obviously not part of a superhero world. Because it does present itself as something completely different, right? And I know that Rex says, take the Joker out, the movie doesn't change. And I agree. I like the movie, but
I do too.
I
don't think that a sequel is necessary. It just shows that it made $1 billion. Let's make another.
Yeah.
I see what they do though.
We'll see. That tells me that corporate's head isn't in the right place. no sequel needs to be made for that movie.
Well, it hasn't been in the right place in a long time.
Those resources and that energy can be put into something. Else. Right. They just mentioned David Ramsey could be Jon Stewart. He was in Arrow, and I think don't we see him as a Green Lantern in Flashpoint or one of those sort of CW crossover things?
Is that the guy that played Diggle? Is that the guy that played Diggle?
Yeah.
Okay.
At some point, don't we see Diggle with a ring? I mean, if I'm, there's some illusion there that even though his name is John Diggle, they're kind of talking about Jon Stewart here.
His mother's maiden name was Stewart, right, or something like that. They can easily do that. You know who I think would be good is the guy that's in. He was just in that movie. I can't remember what it's called now, but he played Finn in the new Star Wars movies. John Boyega, is that his name?
John Boyega. John Boyega would work.
Do it.
If you want to do John, there's a bunch of, and I'll tell you, and I realize he was just Hawkman, so this probably wouldn't work. But Aldous Hodge has been everything I've seen Aldous Hodge in, dating back to the very first iteration of the show Leverage. That guy is a great actor. It does not matter what he's in or what he does. They could put Aldous Hodge in as Jon Stewart and it would work. He made a comment at one point about he'd hoped he would get an opportunity to read for Black Panther before he was Hawkman. I think your comment with Superman is Christopher Reeve has now moved into Chadwick Boseman, or maybe it's the other way around. Chadwick Boseman has now moved into Christopher Reeve level of they're gone too soon, and everybody else is trying to catch up. And they just can't.
I just think with Superman, obviously it's gonna be a tough nut to crack because there's so much baggage coming with it. So you kind of have to start off, and I think Gunn would do that. Okay, I don't know. Is he thinking maybe the Lobo will be the kickoff?
See, that was another thing I was going to say. I do not like the Lobo character. I think it's what they call in pro wrestling Cheap Heat. It came out at a time when Cheap Heat was a big seller. In comics, they went for the low-hanging fruit, the cigar, I shoot everybody, I kind of have curse words. I think that's lame and unimaginative. However, other people like it. You could work a story where somebody hires Lobo to come to Earth to find out what is the story with Superman and all these other things. Maybe Superman inadvertently stops something that causes a crime boss or whatever, right, a mystery figure to hire Lobo to say, I just can't. The red cape, he's got to go.
Bruh, such a good idea to do a movie that's a Lobo movie. It's from his perspective. He's the hero of this movie, even though he's an anti, but Superman's the villain. Like, wouldn't that be cool? And it's Henry Cavill. Like, you could do that. Like, that would be hilarious.
This guy stops honest thieves from stealing stuff.
Maybe.
If you saw Jason Momoa in a movie called Slumberland, that's the energy you're going to see when he's Lobo. All right. It's on Netflix, and I think that's the Lobo energy you'll see if they get that done.
All right, let me get to a couple of books before we hit the break. We also have tonight X-Force number 12, signed by interior artist Clayton Crane. We have one available. It is number 5 of 51 signed, and it is $19.63.
Don't we have like a huge Clayton Crane fan in the room?
I don't know.
I could have sworn, but somebody said they wanted like Clayton Crane original art.
I have no idea.
I don't know. It must have been somebody's wife.
Oh, boom.
No.
All right.
Sorry, that was that low-hanging Lobo fruit.
Low-hanging fruit.
And this is why people remember Lobo's name 30 years later.
All right. And then we have Captain America White, number 1, signed in silver by Jeff Loeb. Tough signature to get. It is number 6 of only 15 signed, and we have one available. It's a 5-star at $50 book.
And I got to tell you, the Frank Robbins energy on this cover is it's heartwarming. I mean, this is what the Invaders and Captain America looked like when I started reading the book. Frank Robbins was trying to get this like comic strip-esque energy into the Invaders. And I think at the time, maybe people didn't, it wasn't a big seller. Captain America was in it, so it was okay. But I just, if you go back and read the original 20, 25 issues of the Invaders, that book wouldn't last 6 issues in 2022. It's just like it wouldn't make it, right? Frank Robbins was trying to do something a little bit different with the art. I remember that book being a kid, and people were like, ew, that art is terrible. And I'm like, keep in mind, this is a time like Mike Grell and guys like this are doing books, and Frank Robbins isn't that guy. But I love the fact that, I don't know who does the cover here. I don't know if this is Sale doing the cover here, but there is a lot of Frank Robbins energy on this cover that's very cool.
Right. All right. So, all right, let me get
it. Jay just said it. As a kid, you don't have the appreciation for Frank Robbins. Years and years and years of me, there's a period of time where I'm not really reading comics that much. I'm reading comic strips. I'm deep diving into the spirit and all this kind of pulp stuff. And then you kind of come full circle and you pick up Invaders again, and you're like, man, I really wish like my 12-year-old self had realized how good this was.
All right. So we're going to do a recap when we come back. Probably talk a little bit more about this because I'm curious as to what DC is going to do, man. It seems like every turn they make, they just make things seem a little bit more chaotic than it was the day before.
Well, there's too much contradictory stuff. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. Oh, but wait, we're still doing this.
Yeah, I would agree.
We love Henry Cavill. We hate Henry Cavill. The Rock is Black Adam for life. We're never going to see Black Adam again. Nobody knows. You know what I mean? It's like one of those old boardwalk haunted houses where the floor always moves. Like you try to set your feet, and
I think that they need to do what they say they were going to do, and when they hired James Gunn, and let him do it. Okay, as I said, some of the things that the rumor mill is churning out, I don't agree with, but I'm willing to say, hey, I like Gunn. I like the stuff that he's done. And me more than anybody, you put the dude in charge, let him do his thing. Okay. Let him do it. The way
Robbie's ultimate point is these were all rumors.
No. And I understand that, but it's funny. These leaks somehow turn out to be true a lot of times.
I think a lot of times, like I'll tell you right now, if a leak comes out of Patty Jenkins' camp, I'm going to tend to believe it. As Robbie mentioned before, she's a very talented filmmaker, very accomplished filmmaker. She just sort of has a way of doing business.
Right.
And Robbie alluded to it. You know what? I did something. I'm in here. Well, I don't want you telling me what to do. And, at the Toronto Film Festival, that's fine. And at the Hollywood superhero movie budget level, it's not.
Jay, go ahead and just make it #LoveEXP for the free gift, and flash a free gift, and then we'll go to our next break.
We've been talking so long, we should give them 2 free things.
Spoken like a true person who's gifting somebody else's property. All right, here we go.
You push me. I'll go into Nick's office right now and give something.
Oh, I have no doubt. All right, this is the free gift of the night. It is #LoveEXP, all lowercase. Just go ahead and throw that up in the chat to enter for a chance to win, and we'll draw right after best offers close at 7:55. All right, so we're going to take our next break. We'll be back in a second.
Who would win, Batman or Superman? It's the age-old debate, except it's so much more complicated than that. Nerd Killer Warfare every week on The Experience is your chance to debate other nerds in the questions we've all been asking for years, except we take those debates and turn them up to 11. Go to bit.ly/EXP casting or scan the QR code to be part of the show. Why was Princess Zelda sad after watching a bunch of YouTube videos? She couldn't find the link in the description. We'll stop if you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's super easy. Click subscribe and click the bell when you do. And thanks for supporting the EXP. You know how when you go to Comic-Con, after Comic-Con, you go to the hotel bar, and there's a whole bunch of people playing music and dancing, and you've got Pikachu and Lara Croft Tomb Raider doing the cha-cha slide just down from Deadpool and Batman and Wonder Woman? That's every Saturday night over on the Experience Twitch channel. Join Taji Beats for the EXP Dance Party, exclusively on Twitch, twitch.tv/the_EXP.
To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise of adventure, a promise of excitement, a promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds. A promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey, and behind every page there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop today. Visit comicshoplocator.com today. You're watching Experience Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Experience, where we're doing comic collectibles with Rex, John, and Rockin' Robbie, the award-winning Rockin' Robbie. I guess we're waiting on them to show back up. There they are. Finally coming back in. A little bit late.
Sorry, guys. Did we go over the time? I'm sorry.
It's okay. And, oh, man, I was just going to say, while I had the spotlight, want to thank everybody for being here. To hashtag LoveEXP to be entered to win the giveaway, which is a True Believers Hulk Joe Fixit #1 signed by Peter David, who's been dealing with some medical issues and could use our help. And I think there's a GoFundMe out there available for him. So if you feel so inclined, tis the season of giving. And also Rex is way off base about his Superman comments, but it's okay. I don't expect much from an Eagles fan. So
I think we've just been cut out of the process. It's just Robbie doing the rest of the show.
Well, I'm going home.
I'm going.
I will not be spoken to that way by a Cowboys fan.
An award-winning Cowboys fan.
An award-winning Cowboys fan, which is more than a Cowboys can
How many
say.
trophies do you have, sir? I'm guessing 0.
I have more than the Cowboys have had in the last 25 years. I can guarantee you that.
Ouch.
That's rough, man. Why you got to go low like that?
Low-hanging fruit, buddy. Low-hanging fruit.
Or that Lobo fruit is what it is, man. That Lobo hanging fruit.
Yeah, that's a new name, Lobo fruit.
The Lobo fruit.
What? You got to show Rex and John that man, Batman.
It's my new segment on Sunday nights where I go through Batman the Animated Series episode by episode. But I asked the chat to help come up with the name, and the winner was Batman. So my buddy Perry, I got him to do some clips for me, and it's pretty fun. It's pretty funny.
Oh, that is funny. All right, so I'm going to do one more book, and then Preston, you got it, buddy. That's right. Robbie can't do a Rex cap. That's right. All right.
You could do an award-winning Robbie cap. Award-winning Robbie cap.
See, it's happening again. You know, where your mouth moves, sound comes out, but I'm just not registering.
That's the same sound I hear when we talk about Dynamite Comics that you never read.
I'm sure your wife has the same mode too. She and I really need to get together.
It's almost sign language with her.
Like a support group. People who know John. Hi.
You may be entitled to compensation.
I'm a friend of John.
My buddy's a lawyer.
Hi, Rex. How long have you been a friend of John? Too long.
He's sobbing. Oh, you may be entitled to compensation.
I haven't taken a vacation in 4 years because of John. All right, we have Green Lantern Season 2, #1, signed in silver by Liam Sharp. Suggested retail $69.99, and we have the one available for special price of $25. It is number 5 of 60. All right, so let's do the Rex cap. And here we go. All right, we did the Dynamite 10-pack reader set, 10 random Dynamite titles. It's just retail $40 or higher, and as always, we have it for $5. Thank you to our viewers. 50 cents a copy, you can't lose. Then we just did Green Lantern Season 2, number 1, signed in silver by Liam Sharp. Suggested retail of $69.99, signed in silver, number 5 of only 60 signed. And we have this one at a super duper price of $25. Nice. Then we did Batman Black and White number 1, signed in silver by James Tinian IV. Suggested retail of $69.99. It is a best offer book starting at $27 for Detective number 27. It's number 2 of 20, signed in silver. Then we had Siege number 1, signed by Brian Michael Bendis. Suggested retail of $29.99. It is a best offer book starting at $20. We have one available, and it is number 26 of 50. Then we did X-Force number 12, signed by interior artist Clayton Crane. Suggested retail of $29.99. We have one available, number 5 of 51. And that is, we have available for $19.63, the year the original X-Men first began. Then we had Captain America White, number 1, signed in silver by Jeff Loeb. Suggested retail is $69.99, number 6 of 15, signed. And we have one available. It is a 5-star $50 book. And Jeff Loeb's signature is increasingly difficult to get. Then we did Siren's Gate, number 2, FOC Virgin Incentive Cover, 1 in 10 ratio, suggested retail of $50, and we have the one available for $15. Then we had Vampirella Fairy Tales. Did I pronounce it correctly?
Fairy Tales, that's right.
Fairy Tales one shot, FOC Virgin Incentive Cover, 1 in 7 ratio by Jonathan Lau. Suggested retail of $50, and we have the one available for $10. All right, so let's do one more Dynamite book. We have Vampirella Strikes number 7, FOC bonus, ultraviolet cover by Lucio Perillo.
Nice.
And I love these ultraviolets. And we have this one available for $5. 5. You got it that right. 5.
Can you imagine? The year is 1976. You got this souped up minivan or big van, actually, a van. And this image is airbrushed on the side of it.
Yep.
You're the coolest dude out there, especially if you got black light in the interior. So, and shag carpet.
And now parents tell you to stay away from that van.
Well, I almost wonder what's next. I mean, we've got metal, we've got ultraviolet, we've got metal ultraviolet. I almost wonder what's the next sort of, you know what I mean? Where do they go from there?
What would you like to see, John?
I'm very happy where they are. I like the metal covers. My guess would be, and this is just a guess, if Dynamite is going to continue pushing the boundaries of, different covers, alternate covers, variant covers, what do you want to call them? It would probably be some sort of fabric or material.
Like a felt cover or something like that?
Yeah, almost something like, something along those lines or something, because we've already gone the edible comics.
I like that one, Ron.
John, where are the comics?
I hate them.
But that would be my guess. Some sort of fabric material, maybe some sort of very thin, almost like a graphite cover. That would be my guess. Something like.
Good luck getting those signed. Good luck getting someone to sign your hairy edition of Mad Balls versus Garbage Pail Kids. I would like to see die-cut metal covers. I think that could be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, die-cut covers in the 90s they were not metal. I think a couple might have been chrome or maybe foil, but I think for the most part, they were just sort of, and I would say probably some sort of wood laminate cover.
Hey, Triple B, I got you down for the Vampy, but just confirm, because all you put was Vamp, because if not, Preston wants it. So just confirm with us, buddy. Sinner 24 says an interactive cover would be dope. It would
maybe some kind of cover that includes like a QR code, maybe as part of the art.
But why? So interactive would be probably something. Well, that would seem to be more digital comic related than it would be an actual cover. Because doing anything on a physical comic would become cost prohibitive.
Well, I guess the other thing would be not ultraviolet, but when they do the inverse negative images. I'm trying to think of what the name of that is. But like this is out Wednesday.
Gotcha, buddy.
And this is Philip Tan's.
All right, Thomas.
Lord of the Jungle,
you got
right?
it, buddy.
And you see how this is red and white, and then you would have like a regular image. I'm almost wondering if they did like a negative image.
All right, Jay says he has one from Kickstarter. You look at it from an app on your phone. The cover moves. Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, there you go. That's hypercolor covers. Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot to do. I just, somebody asked me over the weekend, like, hey, do you know what Dynamite's doing next? And I thought they meant like Wednesday. So I'm like, oh, yeah, it's Hell Sonja versus Red Sonja, Lord of the Rings.
Right.
And they meant like, what was the next like big cover? And it got me thinking about, when Nick and different people are sitting in a room, like, where do they go next? They've done metal. They've done every conceivable
years ago, Joel, Rice Paper, Marvel's already tried that, I think.
That's right.
Years ago, and I thought it was an interesting concept. Neil Adams' own publishing company, Continuity Comics.
I loved Continuity Comics.
Well,
the Revengers.
There was a point in time where their covers were made out of Tyvek.
Yes.
And
you know who has those Tyvek covers?
Who?
That would be me.
Of course you do.
I loved Continuity Comics.
Of course you do. And that was an interesting move. I mean, I don't think people really understood it, but
that was really ahead of its time.
Yeah, a little bit.
Covers.
Yeah, a little bit.
They were very cool. They had a Tyvek cover for a character called Armor. And as you move the image around, it was, I don't want to say it's lenticular. It was lenticular in nature, but it was not a proper lenticular cover. But it was Tyvek, and it had like the chrome. It was very, very cool. Like I said, it was very much ahead of its time. I mean, continuity in general was ahead of its time. The Neil Adams sort of photorealistic style was unfortunately getting, I don't want to say big-footed on, but for some reason in the 90s, everybody decided they wanted these sort of, Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, like the whole image art thing came. And I think in some ways, Continuity Comics was too early. Yeah. And in some ways, Continuity Comics was too late. I think that they missed, because you had that period of where his photorealistic style was just head turning. And then the next thing you have like Todd McFarlane doing Spider-Man, and nobody remembers that.
So, and I'm sure everybody knows, Tyvek is obviously what they wrap houses with.
Yeah, it's like an industrial material,
Well, what it is, it is. So basically, Tyvek cannot be ripped. It has to be cut.
It has to be cut. Literally, There were cons where people from Continuity, Neil Adams' daughter, Christine, she actually took the book and sort of...
Yeah, you cannot, and that's why they wrap it around, houses when they build them, because it doesn't tear. You have to actually cut through it.
I remember her saying, you don't need a bag and a board for this book.
Yeah, exactly.
That was like one of the big things where she was like, you don't have, of course, I went home and immediately bagged and boarded all those.
It was a great concept. I mean, it really was. It just never quite.
And the continuity books themselves were kind of a neat concept. It was sort of that idea of trying to fit people with superpowers into the real world.
Right.
Which today is commonplace, but in
a little bit ahead of its time.
80, I'm trying to think when he started that, 89 maybe, and then it kind of stretched a little bit into the 90s.
Yeah,
and then
it was a little bit ahead of its time.
Storyboards, and he was, comics was done.
Yeah, so that was definitely a little bit.
Hey, Rex.
Yeah.
Real fast, I just want to get confirmation on something. I have the Green Lantern at 5-star for 50. Did you say it was 25?
Yeah, we're lowering it to 25.
Okay, I got.
Sorry, buddy. I should have given you a heads up on that.
That's all right. Thank you.
Because we're doing the next 2 years, 10 years of DC Comics for people, movies with our conversation. we've set people at each other's throats.
Hey, it's a gift.
See, my homie Two Gun Pedro's in the chat, so Station Two Gun, but he says comics that need a black light to read. Comics that need a black light to read. Jim Rugg.
I love the idea.
I love it. Jim Rugg did one called Octobriana that I love. Like, I got a black light, because I'm that kind of dude. And when I finally got
that dude,
it's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. Like the way, because he in particular knows he knew how to do it, right? The right way. And it's incredibly powerful and effective. Now, not everybody is a swinging dude and has a black light available at any time, but the other thing that there are these like flashlight, black light things that people read it with too, right? You can go but the Blacklight Octobriana that Jim Rugg did was one of my favorite comics I've read in the last 10 years.
I will say this about Blacklight Comics. This comes from a source known for tall tales, but I was at a con in, I'm going to say probably 20, I'm going to guess 14, but I might be wrong. And Jim Steranko was talking about pitching Blacklight Comics at Marvel in 1971 or 2.
Could you imagine if we had those Blacklight 70s Marvel work from Steranko? That
he had said,
psychedelic drugs. Just read that. You know what I'm saying?
He had said his story basically, and I'm just going to put it in a nutshell here. His story was that they decided to do Blacklight posters for Marvel. Right. Silver Surfer is probably the best known one. And they wanted to see some sketches. They wanted to see some different takes. I mean, they were pretty sure it was going to be Jack Kirby's Silver Surfer, but they wanted to see some stuff, right? And Steranko, as he tells the story, went into the office, told Stan and the others, we're not going far enough. A poster's great, but we should be doing a Blacklight comic. And it was sort of like hemming and hawing, and what do you think? And a few sketches were submitted, and then it was just like, it didn't work out. So I would say if they ever did do a Blacklight comic, at least some sort of, I don't even know if credit is too strong a word, but some sort of mention should be made of, Jim Steranko claiming to pitch this in like 1971. If I remember the story correctly, like 1971, he's talking about this.
So Stevie B says Neil Adams said he had plans to revive Continuity Comics and may have started some books. I wonder if his family have enough there to maybe release some material. That would be kind of cool.
The first time Neil Adams told me personally that he was going to revive Continuity Comics,
if you're playing a drink game, it's now.
I guess to a certain extent, we were waiting in line to have books signed. So he was talking to me and 100 other people. So, I mean, I don't know if that's a name drop in the name drop way, but I had books to sign. And one of the things I had to sign was the aforementioned Tyvek cover of Armor. And we talked a little bit about it, and he signed the backing board because he didn't have an ink. He didn't have a pen that would, he's like, it's not going to last. He said, I've signed these Tyvek books, and somebody puts it in their bag and the signature comes right off.
Right.
He said, I've had people come back around again and say, I stuck it in my bag and the signature's gone. So he signed a board for me really nice. He actually did the Armor. I wouldn't say it was a sketch, but he did the stylized Armor banner for me, which was kind of neat. But he had said then, I said, I really miss Continuity Comics. And he's like, well, all hope isn't lost. And I'm going to say this was probably San Diego 2016, maybe 2015. So this idea of Continuity Comics not being gone or coming back has been floating around for a while. They could take my money right away. Continuity Comics come back. I chuck this gig. I'm doing a show with Robbie for Continuity. Sorry, man.
Okay. Preston, take that drink, buddy. All right, let's get some cover sketches. All right, so first up, we got Absolute Carnage #1, signed with Green Goblin cover sketch by Gordon Purcell.
Oh, man, that is great.
Suggested retail of $99.99. We have the one available for $64.19.
Man, that is nice. There's a tattoo shop in Bethlehem, PA, and the guy is a massive Marvel fan, particularly like the 1960s era Marvel stuff. And he talks about the number of times I've done Spider-Man, Green Goblin. He has a picture on his Instagram of somebody's back piece, and it's the Sinister Six, and then like Superman's and Spider-Man's back looking at them. And he was like, it doesn't happen often, but when I see somebody come in with a roughly comic-shaped bag, I know I'm doing something from, you know what I mean? He's like, I did a Black Bolt for a guy on his leg, and as soon as I saw the bag come out, I'm like, yeah, I got
You should get a Green Hornet tat.
I would probably get a Kato tattoo.
That too.
You should get the Kato mask tattooed on your face.
Oh.
I like that. Robbie thinking outside the box.
Good enough for
man.
Mike Tyson. It's good enough for me, man.
Damn right. Oh my God. All right. Then all right, Ron, you got it, buddy. So
I'll
Ron
still
is
take a
claiming
drink
it.
just in case. Preston is the right idea.
I agree. You got it, Triple B. I got you down. And then you've got that one Vampy book. I'll send it all media mail to you, buddy. Save on shipping if you want.
Oh, he got there, Pearl Strikes?
Yes, he did.
That's nice.
That's the guy that only does 10 tattoos max.
I honestly don't know if he has a max.
All right. The slab, my friend, is the Spider-Man Mega Pack, and it is a best offer item, Thomas. All right. So it includes that. Thank you, Jay. Includes Spider-Gwen number 25, lenticular, ASM number 238, facsimile CGC 9.8, ASM Renew Your Vows number 4, signed by Justin Ponsor. It is a best offer item, and Lars Man is currently in the lead at 75. So, Thomas, if you want to put an offer in, you can. Just has to be more than 75, my friend. You got it, Triple B. No worries, buddy. All right, we'll make that note for Triple B, media mail. All right.
I got a question for John.
Yeah.
So Friday on the show that me and Rex do on my channel, which everybody should join us for our noon Eastern chats on Friday. Always a good conversation.
This show's off the rails. Watch us on Fridays.
Exactly. We were discussing our favorite TV shows of 2022, and both of us mentioned, now we haven't seen any, like we haven't seen but a fraction of all the shows that released this year. So we were like, what we really want to know is, what is John Cole's favorite shows of 2022?
I want to say She-Hulk just to tick people off. It is not She-Hulk.
Actually, She-Hulk made my list.
Put She-Hulk on his list, man. I couldn't believe it. I was flabbergasted.
Shows, wow. I'd actually have to give it some thought. But I got to tell you, 1899 is pretty high on that list.
Never saw it. Actually, we should make this more fun. What are the odds that John's going to name something that we've actually watched? 3 to 1. I'm giving out 3 to 1.
Well, I think most people know I tend to be a streaming service guy. I can't remember the last time I watched. I don't even know. Do they have shows like CSI still on TV? I don't even know if they have.
Hey, Ron, Amy won't break your thumbs.
Uh-oh.
She'll just take any of your framed art.
No. We send Amy for the final collection. Okay.
Amy's the heater.
Yeah. All right. We send her for the final one, dude.
If you hear from Amy, you'll never hear from anyone.
We ain't looking for money then.
Amy calls you once. Well, that reminds me. I want Nick to get the rights to Johnny Dangerously.
Okay, send him an email.
Wouldn't that be awesome? A Johnny Dangerously book? I love that movie.
So Ron says Reacher on Prime. I want to watch Reacher. You know, because it's the real Reacher. It follows the books. He's a big dude, not 5'9" like Tom Cruise.
You know what? I'm part of that group.
By the way, everybody can thank Marcus. On Friday, we will have more George Perez shirts.
Oh, wow.
So Marcus threw out the idea, reached out to Spencer.
Very
able
cool.
to put it together.
Our Marcus.
And Marcus, for that matter.
Robbie, how are you, buddy?
Doing good, buddy.
Ron, my wife will let Amy in and make her
If
sandwich.
anybody hasn't hit that thumbs up yet, please hit that thumbs up
before Amy starts breaking
thumbs. Ronald's wife will let Amy in to make her sandwich.
Alan Richson in Alternate Reality was probably an Aquaman and did a really good job. I think he was Aquaman in like the Arrowverse or something. And
right.
I really thought that was sort of.
Oh, he was. Was he one of the guys in Smallville? That was Aquaman.
Yes. Oh yeah, it wasn't Arrowverse. I think he was Aquaman in Smallville, which was a precursor to that.
So and weird. Andor, Rings of Power. They've lost me. I talked to Robbie about this on his show on Friday. I have not been able to re-engage. I'm probably going to.
You don't like Andor?
It's not that I don't like it. I'm just like sitting there. It takes a lot to kind of get me.
You got to focus on Andor, right? I had Alex Packendale on my show, and he's a big Andor fan. And at that point, I hadn't watched it. All I had heard that it was long, it was drawn out, it was boring. So I was like, "Hey, man, pitch it to me. Like, should I watch it?" He goes, "You got to watch it, but you got to watch it in 3-episode arcs." because they're basically doing like 3 or 4 movies, right? And so I did that. I watched the first 3. And if I would have watched just one or just the first 2, I would have quit. But when I hit episode 3, I was on board. But since then, I've only watched one more episode because it kind of stalled out. But not because I didn't like the show. I think the show is actually rather complex and is telling a really interesting story. And it doesn't feel the need to do too much fan service or try to be too Star Warsy, if that makes sense. It's actually really good. And I'm the one dude who didn't really like Rogue One that much. So even someone who didn't like that movie, I was wrapped up.
I was not a big fan of Rogue One either. The Solo one, I was not a big fan of. Obviously,
I actually like Solo. I like Solo a lot. I wanted to see more of that dude playing Solo.
I like Solo. I thought that guy did a job. He's trying to fill Harrison Ford's shoes. That's not easy.
And Weird says the first 3 episodes of Andor were a bit brutal, a very slow burn. That might be why couldn't get past 2. I got halfway through 2 and never went back.
No, Moon Knight didn't make anybody's list of.
No. Oscar Isaac made our list, but no, not Moon Knight itself. No, but
my list was like Stranger Things, House of the Dragon, Peacemaker, Sandman.
I don't like talking about Moon Knight in front of Robbie too much because he'll inevitably bring up the CGI on the cape, dude.
Peacemaker.
It always happens.
Peacemaker would be on that list. A couple of things
Peacemaker totally made my list.
From Disney Plus, I think we're technically 2021. They started in 2021, where they were in 2021. Like, I guess Hawkeye was last year. What If last year.
Yeah, I didn't include Hawkeye because it was Christmas. So
yeah, I think all that stuff is about. I was very sad that they pulled the plug on Paper Girls. I thought Paper Girls as a comic book is very cool, real throwback energy. I like. When Amazon did the show, I was super excited. I guess the numbers weren't there, the money wasn't right. They're just not going to do the show.
So Ron was saying about Wednesday.
Another one that was really good, by the way, was The Boys. Boys season 3 slapped, and I sometimes forget it because it was earlier in the year. But that was.
I was going to say that was probably going to be my favorite of the year. The Boys is sort of near and dear to my heart.
So Ron mentioned the show Wednesday on Netflix. I saw the previews, and it does look really good. So that's probably the next one I'm going to try to pick up is Wednesday. That looked really interesting.
Wednesday is really good. There was a bunch of stuff that Netflix dropped. I don't want to say all at once, but it was just sort of like, oh, it's near the end of the year. We got to get all this stuff out. The movie Slumberland I mentioned. There was a few other things that came out on it was Netflix. It was, I'm trying to think. They had something else too. I can't think of it. Also, 1899 came out. It's like they dumped a bunch of stuff at once, and I don't know if everybody had a chance to see everything.
Right.
Because with holidays, work, whatever, everybody's only got so much time to watch stuff. And I think they sort of were like, here, take it. I almost think 1899 would have gotten a bigger response if it had come out 2 or 3 months ago. If it had come out during that lull.
Right. All right. So the Marcus says The Offer with Miles Teller. All right. So we got to go to our last and final break. Stay with us. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
This is The Experience.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hey there. Hi there. Hello there. You're as welcome as can be.
Hi, I'm Nancy McCann. Welcome to Friday Night Live on The Experience.
Welcome, everybody. It's Fat Jack's Comic Crypt. Brendan, Al, Jason, hanging out.
There I am. Welcome back to Kicking It with Henry, folks. I am your host, Henry Kumpa. It's great to be here with you guys.
So we are going to talk about books that are in stores this week.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Mishmash.
Hello, and welcome to the Black Comics Universe, presented by Peep Game Comics.
And you gotta love it that the first people in a minute to skim it are creators.
Up, everybody! Welcome to another Wednesday Warriors. My name is Joey Galvez, and this is my pal Ambrosia.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to Space Cadet.
Hey! What's up? Welcome, everyone, for another episode of I Must Ask You a Question.
Hi, everybody! Welcome to Nerd News Now.
Hey, this is Rex. Welcome to Comic Collectables.
Hey, hello, all you happy people. Welcome to the Dan Wickline Show.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. This is the crazy show that we do on Thursdays called What's in the Box?
What's in the Box?
comic culture and sales.
Go follow the experience on TikTok at @the_EXP1 or scan the QR code on the screen. Our TikTok is like everywhere else we are, except you only have to deal with us for a minute. Seems like a win-win to me.
All right, and we're back. And so someone, Marcus brought up Winning Time, Rise of the LA Lakers, which made your list, I believe.
No, the
Rob,
one that made my list was Legacy, which is the documentary.
Oh, that's right, whatever.
That's on Hulu, right?
Listen,
That's on Hulu.
if
but
you're
Winning
not a
Time-
Lakers fan, don't waste your time.
Winning Time is the scripted one, though, that Rodney Barnes had a big hand in.
Yeah.
So.
But
certain things for me are almost like automatic layups for best shows, right? After 50 years of being a Star Trek fan, like, you know, Star Trek was going to be on that list.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean?
Fair
There
enough.
was no way it wasn't going to not be on the list. The Boys is like a layup for me.
Thomas, all lowercase, buddy. For the hashtag LoveEXP, buddy. Believe it or not, it does make a difference when he runs the randomizer. So let's throw that up one more time, Jay. So the prize of the night, or the giveaway of the night, is True Believers #1 Hulk. Joe Fixed It, signed by Peter David, which I was not aware he was going through some health problems. I think you mentioned it, Robbie.
Yeah, I was actually glad Robbie mentioned that. That was for a while, I guess his wife or someone had sort of been updating his social media. It wasn't great. You know, it wasn't, you know, he's in there trying to recovering, but it wasn't great.
So there you go, Joel. That's the right one. Thomas, yeah, there you go. Thanks, Thomas. So if you just joined us, put hashtag LoveEXP, all lowercase, for a chance to enter the drawing to win at the end of the night.
Severance was, I don't even know how to describe Severance to people. Someone asked me if it was worth it to get Apple TV Plus or whatever. And I said, I get everything, because it's just, I can't
you're
help
John.
myself.
Yes, we know.
And the show was just really good. I mean, it's so well done, but I don't know how to describe it to people. Like, I literally have to tell them, just watch it and come to your own conclusions. And people think I'm trying to be clever or mysterious. I literally don't know how to describe Severance. To say it's a workplace drama is, you know what I mean? That's saying Severance is a workplace drama is saying The Godfather is Cops and Robbers. You know what
I've been hearing a lot of good things about Severance. The other one I've been hearing about isn't there one called The Reservation? I hear a lot of good things about that one. Was that this year?
I haven't heard of that one.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. If John hasn't seen it, maybe it doesn't exist, and I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh, man. All right. And Jay just threw up the GoFundMe for Peter David. So check that out if you get a chance.
He had a series of strokes that he's been dealing with, right? And, comic book creators are not there's not really a pension plan or health care, right? So.
No, which may be a topic we can discuss on one of your shows or maybe on one of our
I
shows.
understand they're auctioning off some scripts. I mean, that's a good way too if you want to support. I understand there's different organizations, different people, different retailers are sort of auctioning off different things to raise money. might be worth it.
You know what? I'm sorry. I got to bring it up because I find this so sad. Peter David was somebody that, as a writer, that certainly I enjoyed his work through the years. Man, our healthcare system is so broken. And the fact that the MCU goes on and a character, and I don't know for a fact, but I'm sure that there have been so many elements that screenplay writers have been drawing from the original source material by guys like Peter David. Danilo, what's going on, buddy? And you think about the billions of dollars that have flowed through the coffers for all these superhero movies. And the fact that somebody like a Peter David, who has been a writer, a creator in the industry for so many years, is facing this without a pension, without any kind of protection. What they're in supposedly the biggest economy in the world. How does this happen? And I don't care what side of the fence you are politically. That's essentially wrong. And I'll tell you where it started. It started when we allowed health insurance companies to become for profit. Okay. And when shareholder value became more important than people's lives, that's essentially wrong. There, I said it.
Have you tried not getting sick?
Yeah, I've tried that. That's
Have
why
you tried drinking water with lemons in it?
No, I heard cucumber water is the secret to long life. But no, I got to say this. We see this so often now as a certain generation of comic book creators are reaching an age where they're becoming elderly, they're facing health issues. And how many times do we see this? They have to have a GoFundMe to raise funds in order to be able to meet basic health.
The whole reason why we have the Hero Initiative, right? So
yeah.
Well, listen, I'm sorry. It is broken. I don't know how to fix it. I'm sick of what the left and the right are telling us. They don't have a solution to the problem. Okay, I'm sick of people bashing the UK and Canada for a one-payer system because clearly it works. Okay, all right.
It absolutely works. I have serious lifelong friends that are Canadian, live in Canada, and they said right out, while nothing is perfect, they would not. They've worked in the States for a while. These are people who worked here and went back to Canada. They said they would not return to the States if there was a gun to their head in terms of healthcare. Now, I say this as someone who has never had healthcare through a company. I have always worked for myself. Literally, took over my father's business before I was legally 18, retired at 55. I never had health insurance through your company. Everybody always talks about, oh, my benefits, this and that. I always had to purchase my own health insurance. I say this not trying to be a jerk, but having run my own business, I paid more taxes to more different levels of government than the average person.
Yep.
There is no excuse for there not to be some sort of minimum basic universal health care for everyone. The same health care that members of Congress have. And I don't want this show to be political. I don't care if you vote, where you vote.
It's not.
I don't care about any of that stuff. But when people have to sell possessions to pay doctor bills, and I'm not talking about plastic surgery and adding hair. I'm talking about recovering from pneumonia or a stroke. When people have to sell their possessions, that's a little bit shady to me. That's a little bit shady.
Who would have thought that the show would have been wound up here, y'all? Talking about Marcus says Reservation Dogs. That's the show I was talking about. I hear really good things about that.
Oh yeah, okay. Actually, was that season 2? I almost feel like Reservation Dogs was a 21 show, and we had season 2 in 2022. But I might be wrong.
No, I love Robbie. Trying to keep it non-controversial, but I'm okay with a little bit of controversy. And if I get smacked in the head up for it, I get smacked in the head. But
HR would get to talk to you about your benefits.
No, they can talk to me all they want. Okay, I've seen it get worse. And it's from John's example of always being self-employed. I've always worked for a company, corporation of some type, and I've watched it get a lot worse. Okay, yeah, right, Jay. Not
I thought Rex was HR.
Nobody with 2 brain cells to rub together would put me in
That's
that
what
role.
his secret son is calling about.
Yeah,
hey,
right.
Can you get me on your plan?
I've watched it get worse. Coverage to a point where I never knew anything about health insurance. I just handed it to the HR person. I've watched it now having to actually deal with it myself and everything else. There is essentially something very broken with it. And and I bring it up because we see it with these creators that we all know, that we grew up with, and the kind of horrors that they have to face when they become ill. And that's not the way it should be. It shouldn't be that way for everybody. And what I always find ironic is every time one payer system comes up in this country, people talk about death panels. What do you think insurance companies are doing right now to you? Okay? They decide whether or not something is covered. Okay, there's your death panel right there. Okay, all right, and they're not thinking about you or what's best for humanity. They're thinking about shareholder value. Think about it.
Coming soon from Dynamite. Death panels featuring the Secret Son.
I get on my soapbox. This is what I really care about, especially as I age.
Just so you know,
I agree with you, man. I agree with both of y'all. Just so you know.
You guys are out of the orange flavored St. Joseph's aspirin for children, so don't get sick until the new year because that bottle's not getting replaced. I went after the candy.
I prefer the Bear children's aspirin. Just saying.
Oh my God, it's cherry flavored.
Yeah, it's a little different. There's less of an aftertaste. Just saying.
Well, this is comic collected to a certain thing, and it's not just comic book creators. There's other artists,
absolutely,
comic strip artists, people who spent the end of their lives. I mean, Steve Ditko.
The gig workers out there.
I mean, Steve Ditko, Aaron Myers on Twitter, kind of like Twitter's unofficial comic collector guy. He posts these Steve Ditko notes all the time where, regards Steve Ditko, I think is the name of the thing he does. But, a guy like Steve Ditko co-created Spider-Man. And this was a guy who would routinely have to do other stuff to cover the rent on his, 2-3 room apartment. When you co-create Spider-Man, I'm not saying you should be living like, the Sultan of Brunei, but you shouldn't have to be selling art supplies, which Steve Ditko was at one point. Jack Kirby was the same way. Marvel Comics, $1 zillion enterprise. Jack Kirby was doing appearances to pay for a condo he was living in first. I don't know if it was North Carolina or Florida or whatever, but apparently, it's Jack Kirby. Why is Jack Kirby having to sell stuff?
Well, they finally settled with the estate.
It's 30 years too late for him, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt. Right?
Well, I think Robbie brought it up. We have the Heroes Initiative. There's other sort of
which is all
things
great
out there,
but
we should need those, right? We should need.
Yeah, it doesn't address the problem. All right, Danilo. That's right. I forgot. You're from Canada. You see your invoices go through and your shipping, your shipping labels. You're absolutely right. And weird. You're absolutely right, but that's a whole game. It's all interconnected with the prices of drugs and everything else. Okay, it's all interconnected. They're all paying each other. Okay, all off of our backs. Okay, and I think it was sometime in the 70s when they allowed health insurance providers to go for profit from nonprofit. Everything changed, and anybody that doesn't see the problem with that, okay, you're deliberately being blind to the problem. Okay, because how can someone that provides life-saving kind of stuff be for profit? That those two things, and nobody ever brings it up. That's what I find so ironic. Both sides, the Democrats, the Republicans, nobody ever brings that fact up. Why? Because they probably have a very large portfolio invested in health insurance companies, okay, who spend more money lobbying Congress than they do actually saving people's lives. That's a sick concept right there. Okay. All right. And it's wrong. And I'm sorry. And I'm sorry to take up the time in our comic show for it. 10 minutes left, the best offer. But it's something I feel very strongly about, and we get distracted by all these issues in politics. Okay. Whoever I vote for, I don't care if you're an independent, you're a Republican, you're a Democrat. The first thing I see is how you stand on health insurance. And that tells me everything I want to know, because the rest of it is garbage. Okay. Most of the things people argue about do not actually concern my everyday life. So I don't really care. Health insurance concerns all of our lives, every single day of it. Okay. That should always be number one. What are you most concerned with when you vote, when they take these polls? Health insurance. And the fact that it isn't is shocking to me. It's just shocking to me. That shows us how much.
That's my concern the first time I vote. The next 4 or 5 times, I'm concerned that they're going to recognize me from the first time I vote. I have a busy election day.
What, Regal closed on election day?
I changed my shirt. Hi, I'm here to vote again.
And he doesn't even do that for he doesn't even do that for Regal.
Rex,
oh my God, man. Guys. Yes. Creative Keep and Preston. I apologize, guys. We've been so swamped. I will take care of that tomorrow. You email both of you and we'll get that all squared away, guys. Whatever you guys want to do, let me know. You both have my email. First thing I do tomorrow morning when I get in is take care of that. I apologize, guys. All right. So let me get through the rest of the books because I am babbling. Thanks, JD, for keeping me on track, brother. All right. So let's do it.
5 books left. You better talk
Thank
fast.
God somebody's pushing the buttons. It's not you, me, or Robbie, dude. You can't have 3 babblers on a show and expect things to go well.
I hate to say it, but if you do this again, I'm going to have to leave the rum out of my coconut water, and I would rather not do that.
I'm a little upset you don't bring me any rum and coconut water.
Oh, no. It's dry December for you.
Guess what? You know what? Don't even bother with the coconut water. It just makes me pee more.
Would you like some rum?
And I don't really like the taste of coconut water. Just say. All right. All right. So, hey, guys, I'll take care of how you guys do that. Don't worry. I'll get to it tomorrow morning. I swear to God. All right. So next up, we got Fantastic Four number 583. It is the second printing variant signed by Jonathan Hickman. Number 11. I have only 40 signed. We have one available for $19.61. All right. And then I'm going to do a recap.
This is a property I'm hesitant to get my hopes up for. I love the Fantastic Four. I think it's the best thing that
I think they're going to go with what you said. I think they're going to go that way. They're going to set it in the 60s and then
hoping so.
Multiverse, something or another will pull them out.
It seems to make the most sense, but I thought it made the most sense when they did the second movie, and it was awful.
I know.
It was so bad. The guy
that had a lot of things. That had a lot of things going on, though. It wasn't just that.
This isn't that hard, but they're making it harder than it needs to be.
Apparently it is. All right, so next up we have Doctor Strange number 1, signed with Clea, cover sketch by, again, our buddy Gordon Purcell.
That's nice.
Suggested retail is $99.99, and we have the one available for $64.19.
She's essentially the central figure of the book Strange now, right? Like, I guess Doctor Strange is currently out of continuity. He's dead.
But they just brought him back, and they just announced that he's coming back in a new title in March. But she's been a central piece, and she will continue to be a big focus, especially with her being in the MCU now. So,
all right. So next up, we have X-Men: Battle of the Atoms, signed with Daredevil cover sketch by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza. And this one, Mariano did a different background, as you've seen this version, but with various backgrounds. With his kind of visualize his radar, if you will.
When I saw this, I said to Mariano, why didn't one of you put "Here Comes Daredevil" from the poster on it? And he looked at me and he said, why didn't you say that when we were doing the piece?
Original costume, Preston. You got it, buddy.
Yeah.
So suggested retail of $149.99. We have the one available for $89.99.
Do we know if Nick prefers the original costume or the red costume? Because he's probably one of the biggest Daredevil fans I know.
Email him. All right. Next up, we got Nick's number 4 limited edition virgin cover by Rose Besh. Suggested retail of $50, and we have the one available for $40. All right. And then last book of the night, we have Vampirella Dracula Unholy number 1. FOC Modern Icon Incentive Cover, 1:11 ratio by Peach Momoko. Suggested retail of $50, and we have the one available for $15.
Oh boy, see, you got yourself all worked up.
I did.
At your age, you shouldn't do that.
I know. I need that help.
Have your tea and vodka. Have your tea. I like, you usually don't see Vampirella done in this color palette unless it's like the ultraviolet cover or whatever. I mean, generally Vampirella, visceral character, you see done in, shades of red or whatever. This is kind of neat.
All right, so let's do a Rex cap real quick.
Preston wants it.
Oh, Preston. All right, you got it, Preston. Claiming the Vampy. Preston. Gotcha, buddy. All right, time for the Rex cap. Here we go. All right. Dynamite 10-pack reader said 10 random Dynamite titles. It's just retail of $40. As always, $5 for the whole thing. 50 cents a copy. Then we had Green Lantern Season 2, number 1, signed in silver by Liam Sharp. Suggested retail of $69.99. and we have its special rock bottom price of $25. We have one available at this price. It is number 5 of 60. Then we did Fantastic Four number 583, second printing variant, signed by fantastic writer Jonathan Hickman.
That Green Lantern book has a lot of Pat Broderick energy, and I really like that.
We have one number 11 of 40, and we have the one available for $19.61. All right. Batman Black and White number 1, signed in silver by James Tinian IV. This was a best offer book. You know what? With best offers closing, I'll tell you what. It was going to be best offer starting at $27. First one who claims it will do it at $17. All right. So that's a quick discount if anybody wants it. Then we did X-Force number 12, signed by interior artist Clayton Crane. It's just a retail of $29.99. We have one available, number 551, for $19.63. All right, Creative, you got it, buddy. That was Batman Black and White, Creative Keep. You got it, buddy. All right. Then we had Captain America White, number 1, signed in silver by Jeff Loeb. Super tough signature to get. Just a retail of $69.99. It is number 6 of 15. We have one available for $50. Then we did Doctor Strange number 1, signed with Clea cover sketch by Gordon Purcell. Just a retail of $99.99. We have one available for $64.19. You know what? We're going to do a quick slash discount. We're going to do that one for $50 if anybody wants it.
Thomas Bishop said Captain America. I don't know if he's claiming that.
Tom Bishop, I'm assuming that's a claim. Let me know if I'm incorrect, buddy. Or when you get the invoice, that's totally cool, bud. But I'm going to assume you're claiming it, so I'm marking you down so it doesn't go to somebody else. Jay, when you get a chance, throw up the registration link if you would. Okay, you got it, Thomas. All right. And then again, Doctor Strange number 1, signed with Clea cover sketch by Gordon Purcell. It originally was $64.19. Quick discount, end of show, $50. Anybody who wants it. Then we did X-Men Battle of the Atom, signed with Daredevil cover sketch by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza. It's just retail $149.99. We have the one available for $89.99.
That's really nice.
Then we did Siren's Gate number 2, FOC Virgin Incentive cover 1 in 10 by Sora Sung and Sanju Nivangune, I want to say. It's just retail $50. We have the one available for $15. Then we did Vampirella Fury Tales, one shot, FOC Virgin Incentive cover 1 in 7 by Jonathan Lau. It's just retail $50, and we have one available for $10. Then we did Nick's number 4, limited edition Virgin cover by Rose Besh, just a retail of $50, and we have one available for $40. And then finally, the Spider-Man Mega Pack includes Spider-Gwen number 25, lenticular cover, Amazing Spider-Man number 238, facsimile CGC 9.8. Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows number 4, signed in silver by Justin Ponsor. It is a best offer book, and Larsman is currently in the lead at 75, and that's the Rex Cap. All right, and one more time, the Doctor Strange number 1, signed with Clea cover sketch by Gordon Purcell. Suggested retail $99.99. We had it at $64.19, and quick end of show discount. We're down to $50 if anybody wants to claim it.
That's really nice.
And best offers are closed. All right, cool.
Whoever won.
So Lars Man mystery pack is yours, my man. The Spidey mystery pack is, or a mega pack is yours rather. And let's see, Tom Bishop, you got the Siege number 1, my friend. All right, and I think that does it. That does it. And weird, the Carnage. Yes, it did. Sorry about that, buddy.
We gotta start remembering to try to pull stuff when it sells.
Nah, leave it up there.
Well, the problem is I hate it because like we have an empty rack then, right? And it's just
and
kind of looks
like we're seeing through. Yeah, I like the comics up there better. All right, so Jay. All right, give everybody a chance. If you could throw up the giveaway, the Hulk Mr. Fix-It, and one more time, last chance. If you want to enter the drawing, throw up a hashtag LoveEXP, all lowercase, And then JD is going to get ready to spin that wheel. Or not JD, Jay. I'm sorry, Jay. All right. So I'm going to give another 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That wasn't 10 seconds, was it? All right. I'm going to give it just a minute. All right. I'm going to assume everybody's in. Hey, Jerem, what's going on, buddy? All right. Will that work, Jay? Even though he added some more copy to it? Be all right?
Oh, yeah, it'll be fine.
All right, cool. Just wanted to make sure. All right. Hey, no worries, Jerem. You're in. All right. So, okay, I guess everybody's in. So, shall we? Go ahead, Jay. Spin that wheel.
Jerem got here just in time for the... I think it would be funny if he wins. He popped in at the last minute. Ta-da!
Kenneth Bird again?
Wow.
All right.
I'm starting to think this thing might be rigged, guys.
Kenneth Bird is active.
What we don't know about Kenneth Bird is he's one of the IT specialists around the world. He actually invented the internet. So he's been hacking into our system. Congratulations, Kenneth Bird.
How long have you worked for Microsoft, dude? I'm just curious.
What are you talking about? I invented Microsoft. Oh, man. Congratulations, Kenneth. OBR, what's up, man?
He's been
all
here
right.
all night.
I know you're still here for us, Kenneth Bird. You keep winning all the giveaways, bro.
I'm here for you to pick up your
Again,
stuff.
email me whatever you're going to pick for the Powerball and Mega Millions numbers, please. Right? Yeah, right, Edward? Again, as always, it's a blast being here. Love doing the show.
Yeah, thanks, Robbie, for sitting through a lot of nonsense. He's an award-winning
What are you
host.
talking about? He adds to the nonsense. That's why we love him.
Right. He's award-winning now. You want to hold up the award again, bud?
Yes, why not?
Yes,
let's look at the award again. Look at this. Award-winning.
Look, it changes colors.
Seriously, congratulations. It's I'm real glad to see that.
How cool.
Yeah, Jerem, he did. Apparently, God hadn't figured out that the birthday ended.
It's his birthday month. Allow him to celebrate as he sees fit.
Danilo, I'm beginning to suspect that he is Jay's brother-in-law.
At the Thanksgiving table. Hook me up, man. It's a lean year.
Oh, my God. But, again, I want to thank everybody. Robbie, what's up for tonight?
Yeah.
Tonight is the final PCP movie night of the 2022 season. We're talking about Batman Returns.
Ooh, good
nice.
One. Good one, which is actually a good movie.
And we have something at 8 o'clock here.
Mishmash.
Mishmash?
We have
okay.
Mishmash.
Yes, we do have
Robbie's
Mishmash.
show.
Robbie's show's at 9 Eastern.
Actually, tonight we're doing Mishmash a little different. The first hour is going to be like a hangout with Jenna. And then the second hour is going to be a new show from Kyle called Hot Takes, where you can call in and talk to Kyle.
There you go.
You think Kyle wants me to call in and talk to him? My guess is
nobody wants you to call and talk to him. Not the creators, not Nick, not
Kyle. You thought this is the only show I can derail? Pick up the phone.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Again,
Thanks
we'll be back
joining
Wednesday night with AR Comics, and Robbie and I will be back Friday at noon for his show on PCP, Pop Culture
Nick's
Philosophers.
show is Friday night at 7
Nick's show is Original Art Show is Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. So thank you, everybody. Be safe. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.